Bring us two absolute martinis. You know how I like them straight up. And then precisely 7.5 minutes after that, you're gonna bring us two more. Then 2 more after that every 5 minutes until one of us passes the fuck out.
It's up to each and every one of you, my highly trained Stratonites, my killers who will not take no for an answer. Not hang up the phone until their client either buys or fucking
Welcome to the Talking the Line podcast, presented to you by Talking the Line Sports Media, giving you our best insights and analysis so you can rake in some cold hard cash on your next sports bet. Now sit on back, open up your mind, and let's cash some tickets. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We hope you enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates, gamblers, fans of the NFL Shield, fantasy football players, maybe MLB fans, maybe NHL fans, maybe just fans of cashing motherfucking tickets far and wide. Welcome in to episode number 144 of the Talking the Line podcast on this beautiful Tuesday of bets, also known as TTL. NFL previous week recap and overreaction Tuesday, also known as so you don't have to check your calendar, October 12th. That's right, 1-2, flying through the month 2021. I can't thank you enough for joining us. I appreciate you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. We have plenty to talk about today. Plenty of nonsense is to be had. But before we get into all of that, please take a few moments to smash prematurely from my partner, but as always, that subscribe button on whatever platform you are currently ingesting the TTL podcast on. Hey, if you are watching on YouTube, might as well hit that notification bell over there as well so you never miss the start of a live show or any additional TTL crew content dropping. But if you are listening, not watching, listening on your favorite podcast directory, make sure you hit that subscribe button there as well, as we do release the audio of every live show after it is complete. Next item up on the docket, if you could be so kind and after you get done smashing that subscribe button, go ahead and smash that like button too. Leave us a comment, leave us a rating, jump on over yonder in the live chat. What's up, Juan? Good to see you this morning, man. Appreciate you tuning in live. Shout out. Also hit that share button. Send it on over to your friends, brothers, sisters, uncles, enemies, neighbors, anybody in between. TTL Pod is for all. First time better, daily degenerate. We love each and every one of you. Let's bankrupt these books. Can't tell you how much we appreciate it when you do, and it only helps us make this TTL sports media rocket ship go bigger, faster, and better and stronger to the moon. Next item up on the list, but the last item up on the list. Make sure you head back on over to this episode's description after you get done doing all of that aforementioned jazz and check out the Talking the Line link tree. There you will see that talkingtheline.com website, all of the TTL crew's social platforms, and our additional content so you, the consumer, can indulge in all of that however and whenever you please. Ladies and gentlemen and beautiful gambling people, it is fall flannel weather season here in the Windy City. My partner is not as much of a chilly bones as I am, but I am your chilly, humble, honored, and grateful host, Colton, Captain Colt 45, Soroka. Thank you so much for stopping by. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you. We got a loaded show on tap as always. Usually gets a little bit wild. We say some crazy shit on these shows, but, we have the good vibes coming in nonetheless. Loaded show to bring to you guys here today. We'll talk about everything coming up on tap, but I have done one thing that I need to, or have not done one thing, rather, that I really need to do. It's got me so backwards that I haven't done it that I can't even speak straight yet. I have failed in my duties as a host to bring in my co-host. A man who sits to my left every damn morning on this here podcast and every single Wednesday on the Wise Words podcast in a box to my left. You know him as the man, the myth, the degenerate gambling legend, resident TTL Southsider and Game 4 hopeful, and resident TTL cheesehead himself, Mr. Riley RMags Magnuson. Partner, how you doing over there today, pal?
My man, it was slow news day / evening last night, so nothing crazy going on in the old sports world here. But I'm pretty damn solid. You mentioned my Sox game 4 today, hanging on for dear life this afternoon. I feel pretty damn okay. Pretty damn okay is a good way to put that. Optimistic, but obviously nervous. But hey, it's Bears Packers week as we mentioned last show yesterday, so I'm geared up for that. And I think it's going to be a hell of a day, hell of a week. So I'm ready to get rocking, my man.
Hell of a day, hell of a week. Good morning, everybody. Filtering in. Wonderful to see you. We'll talk about the Chiefs. We'll talk about all types of stuff. I'm not sure if they are Super Bowl favorites. Who's ever popping in there, I'll let you know. We'll talk about that once we get to that. It's the Week 5 recap, baby. So we got plenty to discuss. Now, first things first here, what the hell are we discussing? As always, thanks for joining me, partner. Great to see you, even though you are wearing that bullshit Packers green on a week like this and on this here fucking podcast, pal.
Surprise.
I don't fucking appreciate it.
Surprise.
But I did fail as my duties as wearing a little bit of navy and orange, and I did yesterday. You repped your socks. I got to get back on the train. Either way, you will see plenty of banter between the resident Chicago Bears fan, Bear Don, and the resident Green Bay Packers fan, the cheesehead he will be for this entire week. We got plenty to discuss, plenty to talk about. We will go through each in every game. Just like we always do, we'll break it all down game by game. We will talk about the some of the key betting trends, some of the key takeaways that we got from each game, the overall outlooks, yada, 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 all that good stuff. So we'll talk about all that in today's show, so stick around. We got a loaded one coming to you. We'll also have the usual RMags Sidebar. We'll go a little bit back and forth there. We'll talk about some upcoming slates. Maybe got some additional bets today. We got a little college football tonight.
Tuesday college football, huh?
Tuesday college football on tap, so I'm looking forward to that. I may or may not already have a play out of that game. May or may not have a little ice hockey. Little hockey action going on for you here. A couple of expansion teams battling it out. I may or may not have a play on tonight. So we'll talk about all of that action at the end of the show. And then, as always, you don't just come here for the analysis, for the best bets, all that stuff. You get a little inspiration, motivation sprinkled on in at the very end of the show. I got a little... I don't know what the hell you call it. You know, you sit back when you were a little kid. They tell you close your eyes. I'm gonna tell you a story and visualize this, whatever.
Visualization.
Yeah. Got one of those to come at you today on Motivation Minutes, and gonna be a quick little story. It's about letting go of worry and your anxiety. So stick around. You need a little extra inspiration, motivation at the end of today's show. But for now, my friends, it is time to get into the entire, the full, the complete Week 5 recap. But before we do, I apologize. We are a full transparency
gloss over
show.
a little bit, eh?
Son of a bitch. I apologize. I totally forgot. Let's go back. We are a full transparency show here at the TTL Pod. And that all being said, we have to talk about our best bets of the day whenever we have them, whenever they lose, whenever they win. Trying to gloss over it any way I can because it was another shitty day. What in the world is going on in the NFL? I think we've got out all the sacrifices we possibly could just quickly on the screen. There they are, live and in prime time. Partners play all the way over on the opposite side. Marquise Brown under 54.5. Looked beautiful through the first three quarters. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the Ravens decided to turn it on. I do believe that's the team they're going to be this year. We'll talk about it a little bit more in depth, but what the hell?
Might have some kicker blood in us. Week 5 was the week of, bad kicker play. Or we just got some kicker blood in us?
Quite possibly. I don't know. And it doesn't feel great, man. I really don't like it.
No.
And
just, brush it off. Mind of a goldfish, as we always say.
Mind of a goldfish, but, maybe that is some of that kicker vibes. It was was a week for that.
It did not end last night.
Also, the under, I have no idea in bloody hell how that total went over. I do. It absolutely was bananas in garbage time, and the Ravens ended up walking it off in overtime. I told you I did not foresee overtime. That was actually one of my key selling points. Yep. And son of a bitch, there we got overtime because the old blue horseshoe can't close it out. But we'll talk about that more in depth later. Don't you worry. Back to the Week 5 recap. Speaking of, I realized the producer of this show, whoever's this show, we usually have it pointed down just a little bit more than usual, but I just noticed that kind of out of the blue. You probably would have never noticed that either way, but hey, now you do. Either way, rocking and rolling with the entire Week 5 preview. All right, here we are. It has now officially come. First things first, if you haven't been here before, you wouldn't know, you wouldn't have any idea what we're about to do, but you're about to quickly find out. So, first things first, since it is the freshest game in our mind, partner, since it's the one we have last thought about, saw on tap, I will admit, as the honorable man I am, may or may not have fallen asleep before all this fucking madness happened last night.
Kick the old feet up, eh?
I most assuredly did, my friend. I owe you all an apology for that fourth quarter and beyond. I did go back and watch it, but not as intently as I would have, and if I would have been on Twitter as well. So my apologies, my sincerest apologies. But
it's the way she goes sometimes.
Partner, with me kicking my feet up, before we do, actually, we got one more bridge to cross, but
we'll get there eventually.
We'll get there eventually. Cheers to me and you. Hey, all you beautiful people. Hey, we're not superstitious. We're just a little stitious. Everything keeps rocking and rolling. Take your sip. Let's get the fuck on with it. Partner, please kick it off, if you would be so kind. Oh, shit, because I'm going to need another sip of that.
Okay.
What are you feeling about the Indianapolis Colts, the Baltimore Ravens? We're obviously on the under.
Sure
Anything
was.
you can draw from a gambling perspective and your thoughts overall, sir?
It was interesting, man. Obviously, we're kind of still scratching our head that game didn't go under because you have 10-3 at half. Both these defenses are throwing not random looks, like different looks at each team, throwing them off their game. And then Lamar Jackson in the second half decided that he's, fixed all of his throwing issues all of a sudden. And, we've kind of seen that in the past. So obviously now it's like, all right, Lamar, we need to see that consistently for us to think that you might be the favorite in the AFC.
Yep.
Otherwise, they're going to continue being what they are. And as far as the Colts, I don't know, man. This kind of gives me hope in some ways as far as their offense is concerned, but their defense fell apart in the second half, point blank. So
Did it ever?
I don't really know what to draw here. This defense, the Colts division, AFC South, isn't very good, so I honestly am not writing them off completely quite yet here because obviously, the Ravens have shown, are they a good team? Yes, but they're also kind of inconsistent and kind of just play to whoever is in front of them, and I don't really know what to expect from it.
I agree with you. I think I was actually, I before I segue onto your point, I had a little something fun. I think I just took a little bit too much CBD before the show.
Oh, yeah?
I think it was my whole computer was just tilted down a little bit. I think everything's good on set. But either way, only CBD here at the TTL Production Studios.
Of course.
But yeah, I agree with you, man. I don't know what the hell the Colts are. I was like, holy shit, they're back. First, second, third quarter, start the second half.
Are they 1-4 straight up or 2-3 straight up?
They are now, they've only won one game. They're 1-4 straight up now. So it's definitely calls for a little bit of concern in Indianapolis. I do not doubt it. I don't think that they deserve to be favored over anybody. And when you know it, they are favored this upcoming week.
By 10 against Houston, right?
Yep, we'll have to talk about that. We'll get into that tomorrow on the look ahead, everything like that too. And I said it to you off show. I briefly touched on it just a little bit ago. But, man, I think this is what the Ravens are going to be. Yeah. The Ravens are going to be a three-quarter team of dicking around, trying this, trying that. Who knows what's happening? Lackluster defense. All of a sudden, 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Defense gets a critical stop. Special teams gets a critical play, whatever the case might be. They march down the field, either tie it up and then force an overtime like we saw last night, or maybe get the ball back somehow crazily again and get a field goal and win it because of Justin Tucker like we saw against Detroit.
Right.
I think that's the team they're going to be. I mean, we saw the 35-36 victory
Chiefs,
that it was over the Chiefs. I mean,
the loss to the Raiders.
I firmly believe that is what the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know why they seem to be jacking around the first three quarters, but it's kind of what it seems like. And I think eventually they'll their luck might run out. But for now, it seems to be working for them.
I think so too. And I think kind of what you just alluded to at the end there, once they run into, I don't know exactly who was on their schedule, but I mean, they definitely still have the Browns twice. I'm not sure if they play the Bills, but whether it's in the regular season or in January, I do agree with you. I think it's going to run out kind of like it has the last few years for them. So
most def. Yeah. All right, well, there you go. There you have it. From a betting perspective, I really don't know if you can continue to back the Colts, man. They might be one that you got to watch out for. I know that they covered this week and the week before, but I think that's kind of just circumstance. And I don't know, man, if they should have covered that game last night.
Yeah.
I think they should have.
Yeah, I think so.
But then all of a sudden, what in the world? It could have very easily gone the opposite way.
Yeah,
so
most definitely.
Who knows? That's our opinions overall. Let's jump into Sunday, my friends. Actually, before we do, let's go all the way back to beginning of last week. Let's go all the way to the Thursday night football game. Partner, again, let me hear your thoughts. What are you thinking? The LA Rams at the Seattle Seahawks.
You know, as far as the Seahawks, no Russell Wilson here for a few weeks, it does look like. So I don't know what you can draw as far as Geno, because, I think we said it on Friday. You want to say, like, oh, the Seahawks might have been in that game if it wasn't for Russell Wilson leaving. But Geno Smith had him in that game and did as much or more than what Russell Wilson was doing in that game. So I don't know what we see from him going forward. I think the Rams are a damn good football team. I think they're really good. Maybe not great, if that makes sense. But, I think they're going to win a lot of football games over teams like this. And, I think our biases on the Seahawks were a little confirmed. Are they good? Yes, but I think when push comes to shove, they ain't going to win games like this.
No, I think they're dead for the season too. That's my hot
With
take.
Russ, without Russ,
Yeah, without Russ, I think
think
it's
so.
over. I mean, I know we talked about it a little bit on Friday's show that Geno pretty much got the Seahawks back into that
Sure,
game.
but
at the same time, I just don't think that is a formula and a system that you can thoroughly rely on. They've already dealt with a lot of injuries, and now they got their big dog with mallet finger, whatever the hell it ended up being.
Yeah.
And now he's on the sidelines too.
yeah, I
so
think it's going to be rough.
yeah, I think it's going to be bad news, tough sledding for the Seattle Seahawks. As far as the Rams go, though, I think much like you, they win more games like this more often than not. Now, I still think that they run the table. I predicted that they started 0-2. I think that they run the table now. I'm not really too concerned about them getting their lick back against the Cardinals later on in the year. That's kind of how I predicted it, actually. I said that they would lose their first 2 games back in the season preview of NFC West division play. But, man, oh, man, they look good in the bounce back, especially against the 12th man.
Yeah.
That's what really did it for me, selling me on that we obviously lost this one both. We were both sold on the Seahawks. You were on the money line. I was on the plus 2.5. But either way,
Seahawks play calling was just puzzling them.
yeah, it was real bad.
I think Pete Carroll's. I don't know. I don't want to say he's on the hot seat, but I think his seat might be getting a little warm there. And I mean, he kind of reminds me of some of these coaches the last decade. Mike McCarthy, and obviously he's not. Mike McCarthy's not really calling plays in Dallas anymore. But Mike McCarthy, Jason Garrett, where did they have success at one point 10 years ago? Yeah, but now as we get into this new age of offense, they start to get phased out, and you can clearly see the flaws that they're making. And it's, it was already kind of obvious the last couple of years with Pete, but that game on Thursday in primetime really, really escalated and highlighted it.
Kind of a segue off of that, then that being said, does fucking Pete, does he let Geno cook, or is it back to fucking ground and pound fucking
He probably tries to ground and pound.
Yeah, because if it's not ground and pound carry ball, because he barely had enough fucking faith in Russ as it was.
Right.
So,
and I like Chris Carson, but it's not like he's the guy.
No. And I tried to play Alex.
Collins.
Alex Collins in the flex. I mean, he had a decent day. I think like 9 or 10 carries for 54 yards. But out of a RB1, I played him as a flex, not as an RB1. But as the RB1 on the Seahawks, you would expect a little bit more. And I just
don't think they're talented enough.
No, I don't think that ground and pound game is going to have enough presence. So
who do they got again this week?
The Seahawks.
Yeah.
While you look that up, I will tee everything up for the next matchup here.
Steelers.
The Steelers
At Pittsburgh.
plus 4.5.
Yep.
It is at Heinz Field. That is the Sunday night football game, actually, too.
Yeah, man, they've got a tough schedule. I think you're right. I think they're toast, man.
I think they're fucking cooked, much like me. But either way, next game up on tap. The London game.
Across the pond.
Across the pond there, regular old Bobby Dazzle it was, as they say over there. It was just a fucking stunner. Atlanta Falcons, New York Jets. We took the Jets plus 3. Hey, I'm done. I ain't backing the fuckers no more. I ain't doing it.
I think I agree with you. I think I'm more so done with any London game.
I think maybe.
I'm not disagreeing with you about the Jets. I think
I'm more so done with the Dirty Birds and the Jets altogether.
I think so too.
I think that this was kind of fugazi in a way that they finally used Kyle Pitts how he needs to be, but I think he'll slide to the bottom of the receiver depth chart, or at least the reception list, target share, whatever you want to say.
When the other guys
come back. And that's clearly not their formula to success. I mean, also at the same time, if this wasn't the fucking Jets, the Falcons were letting that game slip away.
Right.
They didn't score in the second half. Am I wrong?
They put up a touchdown.
They put up a touchdown in the fourth. So
that's it.
I mean, for crying out loud,
they were 20-3 at half.
It would have been 20-20, and if that's not the Jets, they tie that at 20, and the opposing team walks it off. So
I do like Matt Ryan is starting to play a little better, but I just don't think the team's good enough overall.
No, I don't think so either, and I think eventually they're going to go back to that same scheme. And Arthur Smith, love you, Bob, but I think it's going to get more tough sledding down there in Atlanta before it gets any better. And same for New York. I said I love what I see from Zach Wilson. I think maybe in 2029 he'll be successful. But
I was drinking the Kool-Aid pregame, and it was quickly south.
Yeah, the green Kool-Aid is a little sour right now, so we're going to leave that shit in the fridge and move
Oh, you know
on
what? Both these teams got a bye week. Sorry.
Hot damn. Next game up on tap. I tweeted out of my ass on Sunday between this game, the Dolphins and the Buccaneers. Dolphins were smacking the shit out of the Buccaneers for a little while there, hanging pace with them for sure. And I was like, now why the hell couldn't the Dolphins do this in Hard Rock Stadium last week against the Colts? Soon as I tweeted that shit, Tom Brady must have a direct tap to any shit talk on Twitter, and it just like buzzes in his fucking helmet or something. Because then he proceeded to hammer down, and at the point I tweeted that, he had 1 touchdown, finished with 5.
Yep.
You know, he had another crazy day. His 44-year-old ass is out there slanging the rock like he's 24. Yeah. I got no problems with it. He's my fantasy QB. Everybody keeps throwing shade. I don't give a damn. I'm going to keep tossing his old ass in there as long as he's eating avocado ice cream and putting up fucking points, baby. The man is a fucking legend. You can't argue that at this point in time. You just cannot fucking argue that. As for the Dolphins, I think the Fins are cooked as well, my friend. Yeah. You know, I think that they are a better team with Tua on the field, but I don't think it fucking improves their chances much of where they're at right now.
No, maybe by 0.5 points per game.
And I think, at least me personally, I don't know where you stand, but I'm going to walk back a little bit of how high, at least preseason, as well as fucking last week too and the week before, of how high I've been on this Dolphins defense.
Most definitely.
I just think they're on the field too long and they just can't produce like they need to. I think,
and they had a lot of luck last year that led into them looking like a decent defense. Like, I mean, if the recipe is perfect, I think they can still make some plays on defense, and there'll probably be a couple games down the slate here in which their defense looks good. But for now, I've got them. I'm not permanently burying them. I've got them temporarily buried, though.
Yeah, I'm going to leave them be just for a little while. We'll see what all ends up shaking out with the Dolphins. But yeah, I'm going to leave them be definitely for a while as well. Bucks, too, you never know exactly what you're going to get from a coverage perspective, but they took care of the number this week. So we'll see what happens
Thursday
on the
night
look
football
ahead tomorrow. Thursday Night Football against the Eagles.
Yes, sir.
Next game up on tap.
Speaking of burials.
I got to take my hat off for this one. It is with a heavy heart,
oh boy,
ladies and gentlemen, I come to you as I have buried the gambler that once was Colt 45 Soroka on the Jacksonville Jaguars gambler that once was Colt 45 Soroka. He is now gone. He is dead. He will never be no more. Amen. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will never be betting on the Jacksonville Jaguars as long as I live, or at least for the rest of this 2021 NFL season.
So you're telling me
I'm not doing it.
That you're not interested in the Jacksonville Jaguars in London.
No.
Sunday morning
I
against
fucking am,
the Miami Dolphins.
Because they're laying 3.5. Yeah, I fucking am. Fuck off, and I don't want it. I don't want a piece of it. I don't want to touch it. They should have beat this damn Tennessee Titans team. They should have hung in there. They got jacked around again. And you want to know, fan of the show, friend of the show, a good pal who we will not mention his name, we'll say Scooter McGavin. He said he walked into the fucking studios, came over to watch the games with me, walked into the fucking studios. That game was on. You want to know the words that came out of his mouth? Jags gone jag. And I said, now why the fuck you gotta say that? I said, hey, appreciate you for watching, but dude, I got a bet on them today. And he's like, damn, man, because something had just happened. And I was like, all right.
I think they started it off with they were driving and had like I don't know if it was a turnover for 6 or if it was just a big turnover, but I'm pretty sure, I think it was a touchdown turnover.
It was something stupid. Either way, I can't physically sit and watch a man.
So, is Urban Meyer trying to get fired, though, is my question. I don't think he really does anything. But it certainly seems like he's actually trying to be fired. I mean, saying that he doesn't micromanage who's on the field in a 4th and 1, 4th and short. Him and Trevor Lawrence are contradicting each other so hard in their press conferences. He talked about how 4th and goal at the 1. Trevor Lawrence, who's 6'6", and he's not jacked by any means, but he ain't a pencil by any means either. And Urban Meyer said, we haven't been doing that because he's not ready or something like that. And Trevor Lawrence, I don't know if they told Trevor Lawrence that Urban Meyer said that or if they just asked him. And Trevor Lawrence is like, oh, no, I'm ready to go for that if I need to. Like, I'm happy to do that. And
it's not good.
And if Trevor Lawrence isn't ready for that, you've had 5 weeks with your number 1 overall draft pick to get the 6'6" man ready to pound it in from the 1 yard line.
The decision to put in Carlos Hyde instead of James Robinson on the half-yard line,
Sure.
barring even the fact that everything you just said
Right.
befuddles the fuck out of me. I don't know what you're planning
and it's not the
on.
first time they've done
I
that.
just don't.
I think, was it Thursday night they did some similar shit? And
Yeah.
obviously there was
Yeah.
no Carlos Hyde, but they
And
got
that's-
cute and tried to.
That's something I can't put my fucking money on anymore because, once again,
So-
partner, the Jags gone Jag. Now,
So
okay, go ahead.
I've got a question. So
Lay it on
if Urban Meyer is trying to get fired,
Yeah.
based off, and I'll tiptoe around this well here because we won't touch on the news of the last 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
But if
please,
Urban
fuck
is
me.
trying
Please,
to get
no.
fired, and now he ain't the main story in town anymore.
Yeah.
He ain't the main story in town anymore.
Yeah.
What do we see next from Urban Meyer that gets his name back into being the story of the town so that he will get himself fired?
Okay, as staying off of this box as much as I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, 'cause like I said-
you know us here at the TTL Pod, we stay off all of the I'm not even gonna say the word because we
Pew
don't
pew is probably our line.
we don't get into that world. That's not our world. We talk bets, we talk sports, we have a good fucking time. We bring good vibes. Now, the coach who finds the previous coach who finds himself in hot water as of this morning, last night about halftime, who I just won't mention. I don't even want to go into that. He checked about every box you could possibly check in today's society that you just don't go down. And that's all I'll say. So it would take some real severe shit from Urban Meyer in order to be now the new spotlight, because last thing I'll say, this is going to be the media talk for the next week and a half, and my hot early projection as I get off of this soapbox, because I do not like to talk about this shit, is that I think we're about to see the NFL catch fire. I think that all this stuff was found in separate emails.
Yeah.
This was found in
Yeah, this ain't controversial.
This wasn't something
On our part, I mean.
Yeah, this wasn't something into the Raiders. This was the football team's investigation. So that's all I'm saying is I think more shit is coming from this Wilbur, and we better fucking watch out. Watch out, baby, because it's coming. But getting off of that fucking soapbox.
Does
again,
Urban Meyer stay in London, though?
well, I had this hot take too. Amsterdam's not too far away.
They got a bye week. Every team that plays in London gets a bye week.
Obviously, he's got money falling out of his fucking ears, so he can just catch a private jet somewhere in there. He's got connections in London. I mean, he'll just catch that. He'll go right on over to the beautiful, maybe a nice little hostel, maybe a nice little thing. They got those fine young ladies dancing in the windows. Maybe some of the CBD he could hang out and enjoy. And then maybe he just accidentally passes out in an alley and we never hear from Urban again. I don't know. Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah. That's fucking
Well, I mean, the
terrible.
last part, in a nice like bender, like having fun in Europe.
Yeah,
way,
like a
not
nice bender, and he just disappears off the map. Not like he dies.
like Ricky Williams type disappear.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Either way, there you go. It's a fucking dumpster fire in Jacksonville. Hope you guys are getting a laugh out of this. Hope we're giving you guys some good vibes in light of all of the shit that is going on in the NFL right now. That's what we try and do. We don't like to add into the negativity. We like to bring the positivity. How about that fucking other team that played these Jags? Tennessee Titans. Yeah. Didn't really talk about them too much. Closing thought. I told you pre-show, I view them as I view the Kansas City Chiefs. Defensively, pretty damn similar. Weak secondary, front seven leaves a little bit to be desired from play to play. And then from an offensive standpoint, cannot get that play action game going. Quarterbacks, obviously I'm not putting Tana Thrill and Mahomes on the same level, but
I know what you're trying to say.
getting out of the pocket is just not working well for either team right now, and it's not looking good for either team to make a deep run in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, as far as a deep run, no. I mean, obviously, I just said earlier the Colts ain't dead in that division, but I mean, it still is the Titans to lose at this point. But I'm interested to see how the season plays out for him because we've mentioned as far as Derrick Henry, we kind of predicted some regression from him. But what I'm interested to see is how the season plays out because the last two seasons, obviously he went 2,000 yards last year. It really was the second half of the season where he starts to pick up the production. They start to lean on him heavier in these colder months and the months where everyone's starting to tire out a little bit. they've been forced to use him earlier on here, so I'm wondering if he's going to have the same type of steam in the engine come week 14, 15 that they might need. That's what I'm wondering as far as the Titans fans.
That's what we've been talking.
Titans team, I mean.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about for a while, even back in the season preview.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much of this you can do for so many seasons until you regress to the mean, unless Derrick Henry could just be made of some other type of substance.
Also
that's
very
not
possible.
Human being.
Yeah, also very
much like
possible.
Myles Garrett.
Sure.
But who knows?
Sure.
The jury's still kind of out on that.
Yeah, very possible.
Next game up on tap, the first one that absolutely pissed me the fuck off.
Game that kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah, not really as much the Jets. It was like whatever. The Seahawks saw it coming from a mile away after the Russ injury, whatever. But Philadelphia Eagles, Carolina Panthers. And we actually recorded, I'm going to stop here first, the Wise Words, episode number 6, with a Philly legend. He is a NFL and college football insider writer for the Philadelphia Insider and for Yahoo Sports, Yahoo Sportsbook. But reason I bring that up, Philadelphia, he talked a little bit about the Eagles and stuff prior to this game, so it'll sound a little bit different. Yeah. You got to remember that it was recorded a week prior. So we try to keep it the same week, but this is just where our schedule's lined up. Back to the game. Free plug there for Wise Words. Back to the game. Carolina Panthers, Philadelphia Squeagles.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Panthers minus 3.5, and I was very, very comfortable with that. I was very, very comfortable with it through the duration of the entire game, and then they just collapsed, and they let the Eagles, and it wasn't even like the Eagles just lit them up in the third and fourth quarter. They only scored a touchdown and a touchdown with a 2-point conversion to pretty much win the game. I don't really know what's going on in Carolina. I don't know if Sam Darnold really is that guy.
Right.
I'm starting to kind of want to walk back my statements about that because he's making some passes that are right to defensive backs that's just not a pass you should make.
No.
Like there's obviously college open, NFL open, and then there's NFL stupid.
Yeah.
Where you're just trying to force it into every single slot. And I'm afraid that's kind of what we're seeing right now. I don't know about you, partner, but I'm kind of going to stay away from the Carolina Panthers here for just a little while, see what the fuck shakes out. Then again, I already like their line for next week. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. But also, too, the Philadelphia Eagles, I think they're stay away, too. I don't know what Sirianni is. I don't know what Jalen Hurts is offensively. I mean, only 21 points doesn't make me want to run to the window with them by any means.
No.
Where's your head at?
Very similar as you. Sam Darnold is, I don't know, kind of Jared Goff-esque. If that Yeah. Maybe a little less aggressive, but also more.
And maybe it was the weather. Maybe he starts dealing with some shit-ass weather.
I don't know, man. I kind of see the Carolina Panthers, at least their current roster, similar to the team we're about to talk about next, the Denver Broncos. Ooh. But Sam Darnold, maybe the highs of his highs are a little bit higher than Teddy Bridgewater, but the lows ain't as low as Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy kind of toes the middle line there, whereas I almost said Jared Goff, whereas Sam Darnold, when he's bad, he is bad, and I don't know what we're going to see. I still don't think he's going to be as bad as he was with Adam Gase and the Jets, but Carolina needed that win if they want any aspirations of being a winning team and, even close to coming to a wild card berth, because it's not out of the question, especially with Seattle falling off. NFC East really only has the Cowboys. The NFC North, depending on what happens with the Bears and Vikings, only have the Packers. And, their own division, the Saints. Who knows what the Saints are? So it's not out of the question for them, but they needed this one to make it happen, I think.
I believe you are correct, sir. And
CMC possibly back this week,
yeah,
though.
that is also true. He logged a full week of practices last week, but didn't end up actually getting the start, which was a little bizarre, but hey, I think they just wanted to see how he looked and then bring him out later. So, you said it. Next team up on tap, Denver Broncos at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yep. Steelers laid the absolute hammer down. This game was a lot farther apart than 27-19, even though that is pretty much a one-score game. Still, absolutely one score and a 2-point conversion. Either way, still a very one-sided game by the Steelers. I think now that they're back healthy a little bit, I'm trying to think just right offhand. I'm pretty sure everybody major
obviously
keys,
Juju, but
but he wasn't really producing on that level.
I like Claypool and Johnson better than him.
Deontay Johnson looked really
Claypool
really,
looked
really
fucking good.
So did Claypool. I gotta stop throwing so much shade at Claypool. It's just some of the comments that he made.
If they were on,
it's
if they were
what the
on like
fuck?
the Jaguars or the Bengals, I wouldn't blink an eye at that type of shit. But and I'm not a Steelers fan, obviously, but I don't want my anyone on the Steelers doing TikTok stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand.
It's hard nosed. That's the most hard nosed like blue collar type team in the entire league. So.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, and I've tried the whole TikTok thing.
Not to bash on TikTok,
not to
but the
bash
way
on
that
it, but
that
the
you have
way that
no
they
way-
do
yeah.
it too, and I don't know. I've tried. Maybe you'll see me on there at some point. I don't know what the
But
hell's going on over there.
my point is, you ain't gonna be doing what they're doing on TikTok.
Correct. Yes, correct.
That's
You
what
will
I'm
never
trying to
see me
say.
walking across some fucking crates
Right.
just for some likes. I probably don't feel like breaking my neck. So, back to the Steelers. They got to get that running game going, though,
Yeah.
dude. Roll Tide, Najee Harris. They got to get him back.
Actually, I think he had a nice game.
He had a nice game. So, kind of building
But,
on that.
yeah,
what they got to do is
sorry.
they got to keep that fucking rolling. And that only helps them go. If they can't get that rushing game going, then it ain't worth a hot damn.
Right.
It doesn't matter what the hell the Steelers
Right,
want to
right.
do. So, that being said, other side of the ball, Denver Broncos. Jeez. I don't know. If they got Teddy Covers, I think they're in good shape. He was pretty much a guy I would back no matter what, no matter where he's at. And now I don't know if it was just kind of a victim of trying to come out of the protocol too fast last week.
And guess who they're playing in Week 6?
The Panthers.
No, the Vegas Raiders.
Oh, boy. I forgot about that. They're
In Denver.
They're 3.5 point favorites in Mile High.
Correct.
Okay, so I hate to say it like this, but the fucking Raiders are a dumpster fire at this
They
point,
are.
and I don't think having a fucking special teams coordinator on there as the new head coach is going to miraculously save their season. I don't think it's going to turn into win one for the Gipper, and like I think
No,
it's
that
just,
seems like as far as like
It's gonna be
scheme wise,
fucked.
that more seems just like a try to steady the ship type of interim coach move there.
Yeah, I think that's
A
all you can say. So
level-headed.
I think the Broncos obliterate the Raiders in the upcoming, pretty similar to how the Bears handled them.
Yeah,
I think so.
I
I
think
think
so.
it's pretty similar team, honestly. Have some previous Bears players, some previous Broncos players flip flop on there, so kind of interesting how that works. How they're very
Mm-hmm.
similar teams, but offensively, I'm a little worried. Obviously, Javonte Williams. I told you guys. What did I fucking say?
Yeah.
2 months ago, dog. I said Melvin Gordon's gonna start looking old in week 4, and they're not gonna take him all the way out in week 4. Get to week 5, and it is going to be a wrap. And Javonte Williams showed some shit last week. I've been talking him up since we did the Broncos season preview, and that was like number 6
Right.
out of 30 for crying out loud.
I don't know if I've ever seen a more clear like this guy is young and spry and he's got legs, and this guy is getting old.
Like, I love Melvin.
Yeah.
He did what, that Sunday conversation with Caleb Presley this past Sunday.
Oh, did he? Okay,
yeah,
I
it was
missed that.
absolutely fucking hilarious. It was great. I love Melvin Gordon as a person, just as an NFL running back right now.
Yeah, I think he's
getting a little old. The body's getting a little old, and he's not old by any means, but NFL, he's old for a running back.
Sure is.
And
A lot of miles.
And Javonte Williams looks good, boy. He looks good coming out of North Carolina. And I told you, if he got to this point and he started putting up fucking numbers for the rest of the year, you best believe your ass it is worth a sprinkle for Offensive Rookie of the Year, because they're based off of the exact numbers that he is about to just start racking in. So, racking in, whatever the hell
Doesn't
you want to
matter.
say, rack, run after catch. Hey, there you go.
Hey.
All of that being said, there you go, Denver, Pittsburgh, as the great and all-powerful and knowledgeable Wiz Khalifa once said. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Speaking of black and yellow, how about green and yellow, green and yellow? I'll let you get on your soapbox here for a little bit. Shout out Lil Weezy again there. Had a hell of a verse on Lonely with the Baby, that
Sure.
feature. That was nasty. Shout out Lil Weezy.
Shout out.
But that being said, I look like a fucking jackass again. It pushed out, so not that much of an ass, but it was in overtime. I thought the Bengals were going to get the outright win against your Green Bay Packers, my friend. I know for a fact that it was probably like breathing through a straw for you for that nice 4-hour session that we call the Green Bay Packers game. But outside of that, State of the Union, how you feeling? Where you at? What's going on, Cheesehead?
I still feel fine. I think this was, as far as this being as close as it was, kind of a whole nother spot where it was just so many different circumstances piling up on us with our injuries being bad matchups, no MVS, and obviously Devontae Adams still put up 200 yards, but it's a different type of offense that they are, different dimensions that they have to run for it. And, Jamar Chase is a bad man. I will say that first and foremost, but I still feel good, man. Mason Crosby left like 7 or 10 points on the board. We left at the end of the half. They had a 70-yard touchdown to Jamar Chase, went straight through Darnell Savage's hands. So I still feel solid. These Packers-Bengals games, you look through them over the years, they are as weird of games as we have against any team in the league, especially a road team against a non-conference opponent that's, not the the cream of the crop in the AFC. There was games like going back to 2005 where the Packers were driving down 7 in Cincinnati and Favre was going back to pass and a fan came on the field and like batted the ball out of his hand. Like weird stuff happens in these games, man. So to escape with a win with a rat line like that one, I am more than happy. And, Rodgers and Adams looked good. Defense, obviously, 22 points against the Bengals. I'm not, standing up screaming, hurrah, we're about to, go crazy with our defense. But it's at least week by week starting to show signs of improvement with certain guys. So I'm feeling decent. I am feeling decent. Not as high as I can possibly be on them, but I think with a few cleanups and some injuries, injury health returning to us, I feel pretty damn solid.
So I'd love to talk shit, and I'd love to start going down a rabbit hole here on my Bears, but stupid is as stupid does sometimes, right? And my mama says my magic shows, and I would be a dumb man if I said that I wasn't worried about the Packers coming into Soldier Field nonetheless. This is a home game this upcoming week. I keep beating the drum that we're going to see the Packers flop, and I thought this was the fucking flop game, and I thought that we were going to see low-faced, back alley, looks like a fucking crack dealer Aaron Rodgers after the game at the podium. But we didn't. He's young, spry, jolly, looks terrific after a dub, 25-22. Oh, we knew he had it the whole time. No problem whatsoever. Yeah. Can't wait to see him on the McAfee Show today, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Shout out to you guys as well. All that being said, I don't know. Obviously, I won't back them this week. I'm not saying they won't be a great bet, but just as soon as I say that, here you go. Here come the Bears, and who knows what the fuck will happen. I will obviously be rooting my boys to the absolute grave, but we'll see what happens this upcoming week. Obviously, love my boys, hate your boys, but if it was ever going to start a slide at any point in time, it needed to happen against the Bungles, and Mr. Evan McPherson could not get it done.
Nope.
Not once, but twice, and thought he got it done the second time.
Yep.
And unfortunately, he didn't get it done for us. So we'll push it out. We'll take our unit back. But son of a bitch, you Green Bay Packers.
Feeling good, man. I am feeling good about the team and next week. I mean, I've already seen Bears fans, like, they know what they're doing, but they're talking themselves into it. And it's just, please talk yourself into it. I've seen this so many damn times. I've seen this movie before.
I've seen the movie a lot of times, too. And I don't know if
I know how it ends. I promise I know how it ends.
Like, Justin Fields leaves us a lot of promise, a lot of good stuff. I'll talk about it more here. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
All right, next game up on tap. Keeping it moving. New England Patriots versus the Houston Texans, my friend.
What
the
Patriots
squeak, shimmy. Get right on at it. Houston, Texas, with a 25-22 victory, partner. They were 8.5-point favorites, dropped down from 9.5 at open. We called it, told you to stay the fuck away, but said we were not brave enough to back the Texans. We should have been and took them at fucking plus 270, plus 300 dogs. What were we thinking?
I don't know, man. I don't really have any regrets.
No regrets.
I mean, regrets. Davis Mills balled out. I don't understand what happened. And, now I really don't understand what happened based off what the Patriots line is against the Cowboys this upcoming week. I really don't know what to expect here. I mean, I know a lot of people were expecting the Bucks to lay an egg after that Patriots-Bucks, like, mega showdown, Belichick-Brady. Brady didn't lay any egg, but, maybe the Patriots tried a lot harder than the Bucks. Or, I mean, not tried harder, but or exerted more effort, all-out kitchen sink effort as opposed to the Bucks, maybe.
I suppose.
Because I don't know, and I don't understand why you would expect the line based off what we've seen this next week against Cowboys-Patriots to be at least a touchdown, but it's right around 4. I don't understand, and I'm more convinced that David Culley is just there so that the Texans can lose games. I don't know what's going on there, and I don't know how you sell the future there, but it's
Hey,
not
go
good.
Dave, bro. Go Dave. He just, I'm surprised the motherfucker even has a tongue anymore. He bites that thing so often, so many doggone times. I'm surprised he got fucking tongue hanging in between his teeth anymore. Sons of bitches. I thought they were going to do it. I said it yesterday. Fucking Belichick was having cold sweats and nightmares with Davis Mills in the back of his
Seriously.
mind after
Davis Mills
that
neck.
almost, squeaked out of Houston, my friend. I don't know, man. I don't want to say it, but I am kind of leaning Dallas, and watch, as soon as I start leaning Dallas is when they actually fucking flop. I'm the bad luck charm for them. Maybe that's what I'll actually do. I don't know. -4.5, especially. I don't know that I am comfortable backing Mac Jones against the Dallas defense.
neither
And I
am
really
I.
think I'm starting to buy into the Dallas defense. Maybe not so much the front seven generating pressure, all that jazz, but fuck that secondary.
Either
looks
that or the
legit.
Bucks are playing some serious games with us.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. I cannot put my finger on it. Shout out Jacksonville, but I am just shout out Urban Meyer. I'm just
that's fine. Okay, fine.
I don't know. I can't bring myself to back the
No.
Cowboys yet. Like I said, I think I just have to stay away. But then again, I don't have enough faith in the Patriots and what I've seen now going into Houston doing that. Again, Houston has been sneaky, but Bill Belichick against rookie quarterbacks and a rookie quarterback like Davey Mills. What are we talking about, guy?
I really don't know.
So that's something we're going to have to take a little bit more of a look into, discuss at a later time, later date, probably on tomorrow's Look Ahead in more depth. But next game up on tap. Oh, partner. This one hurts the heart.
It really does, and it surprises me that it hurts both of our hearts.
This one, when I see a grown man, when I see another alpha male,
Yeah.
who isn't afraid to go into any situation and show the real version of himself and say, hey, motherfucker, this is me, like it or leave it. A true alpha knows when to concede and also when to bite some fucking kneecaps. Man, it hurt me seeing old MCDC up on that podium. I mean, he cares about this fucking Detroit Lions team, I think, more than any other fucking head coach has ever before.
I might agree
Ever
with
before.
you. I agree with you, and I think they're going to pull one out here sooner rather
Lions,
than later.
Minnesota Vikings on tap. Continue.
Yeah. No, I think they're going to pull one out sooner rather than later. I don't know what to draw from the Vikings. Obviously, from both of our perspectives, aside from MCDC and just loving MCDC, we wanted the Lions to drag down the Vikings to 1-4, I believe it was.
Yep.
1-4, which basically would have cooked them for the season.
Yeah.
Not sure what their playoff aspirations are, but I think they're going to continue playing these games. Against, it doesn't matter who the team is. It's going to be a one-score game, whether they're winning or losing. And I don't know what to expect. Like as a Packers fan, do I have any fears that they're going to catch us for the division? Not really at all, no. But I wouldn't be over the moon confident that they won't bite us, snip us off for one of these two games coming up here. So.
Yeah.
I think they've got pieces to be a good football team, but they just aren't quite complete enough to be a good playoff team. It's really interesting, and Kirk Cousins, his numbers are decent, but he's still just. I mean, it comes back to Kirk Cousins at the end of the day for me. He just isn't the guy. He can be the guy to get you some wins, but he isn't the guy.
Yeah, I've been beating the drum too, man, that this is the Minnesota Vikings team we're going to see. They're going to squeak out these games. They're going to win them more oftentimes than not.
Correct.
And they're going to be by the 1, 2, 3 points. And you're going to be pissed off because they were extremely favored on those lines. Or maybe you won't be because they were a small underdog and win it outright.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean,
that's
this one
gonna be the
rose.
name of the game.
Yeah, this one rose to a 10-point spread by game time.
Name of the game. And I think this is going to be the Lions too, because when you have your head coach go out and do some shit like that, that shows your team, fuck, this dude, like,
they're
if
so
they
close,
didn't already know that, fuck.
Yeah.
And it's just unlucky stuff. It's not like they're getting smushed. I mean,
No.
they're getting...
They could be 2-3.
They're getting burnt right at the end. I mean, it's brutal for the Lions, and that's for us to say that as a Packers and a Bears fan. I mean, that's fucking shit.
Yeah, well,
so.
because it's a different scenario. Like if the Vikings or the Bears, in my case, would be in this spot, I wouldn't care. I would probably be laughing and soaking up those tears if I'm being honest.
Yep.
But I have no fears. Someone was trying to say yesterday, Lions fans have something to be optimistic about. I mean, I'm sure Lions fans adore MCDC already, but I have no fears about the Lions being any type of playoff contender within the next 2 to 3 years. So it's if you want to be optimistic about 5 to 6 wins, but no thanks. If you got Jared Goff at your QB, I'll sleep comfortably at night knowing the Lions ain't biting us anytime soon.
Definitely in the NFC.
Yeah.
No, for sure. All right, next game up on tap. New Orleans Saints, Washington football team. Now, partner, you have buried them fully. This is one I will not take my hat off for
Threw
because
another
I'm still very
slap down on the dirt.
I'm very fucking tantalized by them being 6.5 point underdogs at home
As
against
am
the
I.
Kansas
As
City
am I.
Chiefs. And that might be the hill that I go down dying on, my friends. You might see me next week with my hat over my heart saying another prayer for the previous betting body that was me on the Washington football team. Took them 2.5, was very intriguing, ended up winning by 11 points. Or they lost by 11 points. The Saints did. I was looking at the Saints. I don't think the Saints win that game if the football team jumps on that Hail Mary that ends the half. I don't know what the hell is going on. That defense, man, keeps making me more mad and more mad
And it's
more
like you
mad
want to
by
bet
the
them
week.
because like they have to show up this week at least half of what we expect, right?
Sometime, and they just never
don't.
do. They did for like 3 fucking plays in the first quarter, and I thought, holy shit, they're back, boys. Here we go. I am so glad I took them this week. Nope. That was a joke. So I honestly have no idea. I don't know if you can back them even against.
I'm leaving
the
them in the
Chiefs
grave.
defense right now.
I'm telling myself right now. If you want, I wouldn't even hate you for digging them out of the grave again this upcoming week. But I'm leaving them there. But for me, as far as the Saints, obviously they won and covered this game. I am leaving them in a different no thank you category in itself because I still don't know who they are. I still have no idea who they are.
No, I think they're going to alternate wins and losses. One week they're going to show up really good, really great. They're going to do what they did, and then the next
but then
week
it's still
they're
like,
going to flop.
wait, they didn't look that great. How did they win by double digits?
So they're just going to win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. That's what they've already done this year. I think they stick to the trend. Next game up on tap. Beautiful SoFi Stadium. The Los Angeles Chargers inhabit and share with the Los Angeles Rams. We've already talked about the Rams. How about those Chargers, baby, playing the Browns? One of the craziest games, probably the craziest game of the week, 47-42. Absolutely electric, short of last night's game. This was a thriller and a half. Thriller in Manila. Had the Chargers minus 2.5.
Did.
Go Chargers, baby. Let's go. One of the few bets I fucking cashed this weekend. That was seems like to be me and about every other fucking person on this planet. Not a great weekend. Even though the public had a good weekend, I don't know what public did have a good weekend. Either way, 47-42 W for the Chargers. Chargers are now going into M&T Bank. Big cross this upcoming week to play the Ravens as 3-point dogs. Talk about that in depth a lot tomorrow.
Yeah.
Brownies, I don't know if you necessarily jump off the boat.
No.
They showed that they can definitely do plenty against an elite level defense. And yes, you heard that right. If you ain't been watching them, the Chargers are an elite level defense. They've been doing it regardless of if you see that 47-42 score and they gave up 42. That's just how the game script happened, and that's just what it was. And both of those defenses are star-studded. And that's just how it happened. And I think we continue to see both of these teams go up. The Chargers were just, like I said, I think home field advantage there. And those teams starting to realize that they have a fucking squad is really,
100%.
really starting to pay off for the Chargers here. And the last but not least, the proverbial Anthony Lynn anchovies are off the Chargers pizza, if you will.
And not only that, I'll save some time. The only thing I'll really say, not only is Anthony Lynn anchovies out of the door, Brandon Staley is sprinkling on some gorgeous, high-quality pizza toppings onto this pizza.
Oh, a little red pepper flakes, some oregano.
Outside of my own Packers team, he might be my new favorite coach, man.
He's a dog. He's a
understands the perfect balance, at least for my opinions, perfect balance of analytics and still old school. Like whenever you need to impose your will on a team, it's throw analytics out the door. It is the perfect balance. I am such a fan.
I agree. I 150% agree. I can't wait to see what that Chargers team continues to do under him. Next game up on tap. Bear down. My Bears against the Raiders. We'll gloss over the Raiders here.
No. Go ahead. I just wanted to ask you a question to preface it for you. Do you take more from the Bears from this game, and not to what's going on obviously about the Raiders, but the team? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, kind of what I was thinking. I was just going to gloss over the Raiders. So I think this was the Raiders were a victim of circumstance, and unfortunately, I think the Raiders become a victim of circumstance the rest of the year.
Yeah, at least immediately.
At least immediately, at least for the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm sorry, Raiders fans, you were clipping right along, and now all of a sudden, yeesh. But as a Bears fan, as a realist Bears fan, because I think there's a lot of overly optimistic Bears fans out there, I don't know how much we can fucking draw from this. Now, we did generate a lot of pressure, and that's one thing I said. Shout out, just another year Chicago. My boy, Nick, over there, hopped on a show with him. They showed that defensive pressure. They looked good defensively. Bobby Quinn, like I said, continued to do what he needed to do. Khalil Mack continued to do what he needed to do. And then again, I think back to the Chargers game, and that Raiders offensive line was pretty doggone solid against that Chargers defensive line.
Yeah.
And so I think, damn, boy, they just all clusterfucked in the brain, and they just didn't know what was going on there. So that's a big red flag to me. Their receivers couldn't catch a fucking ball to save their lives.
Right.
Brian Edwards, literally, it hit him in the worst spot possible, right in the fucking palms.
Those guys would be like my
dropped it.
favorite third receiver on a roster. They just don't have any
So
warmth.
I predicted on fucking Tuesday or Wednesday, before that Gruden shit even came out last week, that the Bears were going to win outright. It just felt like the right spot for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I got a subconscious crystal ball that some shit was coming. But I am worried about the Packers. I can't lie. It's going to be a fucking dogfight and a half. If Jair comes back, it obviously helps you guys a little bit. I think
that's the least likely one to come back, actually.
Yeah, so it might kind of still be a little bit of the same story for you guys defensively. I think, too, that we see a little bit closer to their sack average where they were before the game with the Bengals. Before that, the Bengals offensive line can't fucking couldn't stop traffic if they were a freaking traffic cop, for crying out loud. So they got fucking Joe Burrow killed a couple times, and not to mention Joe Burrow trying to get himself killed a couple times. Either way, I think this turns into a classic Soldier Field Bears-Packers battle. Straight up, like 17-14. You guys eke that fucking shit out, and it's just some goofy shit like it always happens. It always happens in the first matchup of the year. It's never a blowout in the first matchup of the year. Either way, whoever ends up winning it, I do give the edge to the Packers. But, hey, fuck. I fucking would love, as a Bears fan, would love to see the Bears absolutely torch that defense to pieces, pick Aaron Rodgers off all the fuck. Now, I would also love the play calling to remain in the hands of Bill Lazor. We obviously have seen how much of an improvement that has made. Bears fans traveled really well to Vegas. I love what we're seeing there.
Yeah.
They're going to be obviously rough and rowdy in the old Soldier Field. So I think everything is kind of starting to come together. I don't want to put my foot in my fucking mouth, but it just seems that what we should have done to start the season is finally in place now. Lazor should have been calling the plays.
Sure.
Fields should have been QB1. Nagy should have been overseeing, pulling the fucking strings, doing what he needs to do, up in the high castle with old Gase, having fun with him. Or not Gase. I had him Gase. Oh, fuck. Why can't I think of the Bears GM right now? Ryan Pace.
Ryan Pace. Yeah.
Pace. Yeah, about the same level. And then Sean Desai really starting to turn it on, too. So I think this is where they needed to be. I'm not saying I'm back 150% on the train, because we could get smacked in the mouth and then go back to Tampa Bay and get smacked in the mouth even
That's
harder.
That's play after the Packers?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
boy.
it's and I said it when we talked about the fucking Bears. The schedule makers fucked us because it's literally home away, home away, home away, home away, home away. Everybody was so excited. Oh, we got the home opener. We're in Soldier Field. Yeehaw! And ever since, it's just been home away, home away, home away. And it's all it is throughout the entire season. It is so fucking hard. We have some difficult opponents that we get to play at home, like the Packers. Some give us a little bit of an edge, but son of a gun, it is a rough 4 or 5 game stretch here. So temper expectations, Bears fans, but still, bear down. Next game up on tap. San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals. Partner, we were both on this game, plus 5.5. In favor of the 49ers. They were getting 5.5 points. You know how it goes down. NFC West, wild matchup. They couldn't hold off the Cardinals long enough. Looks like Trey Lance is injured. Might be a 1 to 2 week deal, but they do have their bye week this week, so not a whole lot to worry about. What are you drawing from the Trey Lance 49ers and also the Arizona Cardinals.
Cardinals?
With Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, I mean, he did look a little banged up there, and it has me a little slightly concerned there. The way this is playing out, I mean, I still like the Cardinals. I really like the Cardinals. I still very much like their chances to get the playoffs, especially with the Seahawks losing Wilson, and now the Niners.
Yep.
Very much looking like another team. I still think they're better than they were last year, but they're starting to get into that injury category of what they were last year, and it's not good. And unless they get fully healthy, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. I think they'll be a team that will cover some spots here and there, but they might let you down in spots where you would normally expect them to cover, like this one, because I do think with some extra health, I do think they should have covered this one, but 10 points against the Cardinals, man. I thought it was going to be like 27, 24 type stuff, but I'm a little concerned about the Niners here going forward.
Yeah, I am a little bit more sold now on the Cardinals defense,
Sure,
as well as the 49ers defense. I was low on both of them, and now I'm kind of singing a little bit different too. Not too bad, but offensively, the 49ers are a fucking train wreck.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they can get Trey Lance into a good spot. With the RB carousel, it's never going to be a good spot for them. But offensively, the Cardinals look damn good. That 1 to 10 connection, the Kyler Murray to D-Hop connection, looking pretty damn nice once again. Rondell Moore looking like the guy I predicted he would be out of Minnesota. All that being said, that does it for the Arizona and 49ers game. Next game up on tap. 2 games left. 2 games left, ladies and gentlemen. Alert, alert, alert. We have the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys NFC East matchup. Dallas Cowboys win this game 44-20, my friend, and they cover that -7. Was kind of a close game there. At the jump. Little 17-10 action, 1-score game at halftime, and then the Giants fell apart and the Cowboys hammered down. The Cowboys are back. Maybe not. The Giants fell apart in the second half because Danny Dimes almost got his head taken off. He was drooling out of his face.
That was ugly, man.
Almost fucking fell over in the middle of the field. Saquon is probably back out for at least 5 to 6, I would say, at the minimum. 3 to 5, 5 to 7.
I think it's more 3-4ish, but
3
still,
to 5, maybe somewhere in there. Either way, you don't want to fucking tempt that. Having a faulty fucking ankle on, I'm pretty sure the same leg he just messed up the knee on.
I'm not sure.
Is not something you want to have another faulty part after you just got a surgically repaired knee done. So I'm a little worried about the Giants. What the fuck is going to happen? I don't think all the shiny pieces in the world can help you make Mike Glennon look good at this point in his career. I'm not even sure who is the RB2 in...
Devontae Booker, I believe.
It's Devontae Booker now. Obviously nothing to write home about in Las Vegas, his last 2 years of his career, or in Denver. So
I mean, really, the only bright spot
the Giants are fucking cooked.
I think they are, man. I think the only bright spot to take out of this, and he ended up getting suspended at the end of the game. Kadarius Toney looks good. I mean, it's still kind of jury's out as far as what his production will be when they're fully healthy. But he at least looks good, like a potential piece for a long time there. But then, like I said, he gets not suspended. Did I say suspended? He gets kicked out of the game at the end there, but. Yeah, I think they're cooked as well, my friend. I am blanking on who they've got this next week, but the future, at least in 2020, ain't good.
Yeah, most definitely. And once again, still not all the way in on the Dallas Cowboys. We'll see what happens there. We'll talk about it some more tomorrow. Sure. But the final game to break down before we do a little bit of extra nonsense, get you all out of here for the day. The Buffalo Bills against the Kansas City Chiefs. My partner locked this in on the Monday before, so last Monday, he locked in the Bills' money line. Wasn't even playing around, didn't want the points, said, fuck it. We watched Thursday's game. I said, oh, partner, what the fuck's going to happen here? He said, I'm not going to lie, I'm sweating just a little bit, but I still believe in these Buffalo Bills. And boy, oh boy, did the Buffalo Bills show up. They looked fucking good, man. Josh Allen looked great. Emmanuel Sanders looks great. Stephon Diggs looks fucking great. Dawson Knox looks terrific. Zach Moss and Devin Singletary look great. That defense is fucking Clamps McClamperson. It is fucking ridiculous. The Bills, the best way you can sum up the Bills is that picture of Stephon Diggs standing on the sideline after they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. And basically, that is the mentality that everyone on that football team is playing with this year. the Bills are fucking here. The Bills are back. Bills Mafia. I don't want to get you up too high and get your hopes up and then get crushed again.
Right.
But I think it's worthwhile now.
Oh, most definitely. I think right now I will confidently say that they are, without a doubt, my best team in the league right now. I'm wondering. My only concern is, are they peaking too soon? That's obviously a concern. A team that's looking like this in week 5, 6, obviously the first handful of weeks, are they peaking too soon? But I don't know. I don't think so, because you look at the other teams in the AFC. Obviously, we got to see them against the Chargers. I think the Chargers still got a peak left for them coming.
Yeah.
You got the Browns, and I mean, I think even if the Chiefs start to figure some things out, I think with that Chiefs defense, I don't think there's enough they can do to close the gap on the Bills this year. I think the Bills are, with the differences on their defenses, just a lot better, man. Like a touchdown better right now, and sounds crazy, but Chiefs defense is bad, man.
They fucking
It's
suck.
bad.
There's no line.
It's
There's
bad.
an-
Frank Clark was back, and
with
it
the
didn't
names
matter.
with the names they have there, it makes no sense how they're that bad.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two is that I think the Chargers win the AFC West.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
that's a done deal, said wrap. I
Yeah.
said it a couple weeks ago. Kingdoms fall, empires crumble, kings live and die, and we are seeing the passing of the torch from a very dominant reign of the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't think they're going to put together this dynasty 5, 6, 7 Super Bowls. I just don't think it's possible.
I think they'll get back to the playoffs. It reminds me very, very all too similar of a decade ago of my Packers and Aaron Rodgers. They start paying him. Defense starts to drop off. I mean, the year after they won the Super
$500
Bowl.
million man.
Yeah, and I don't think that contract quite kicked in this year, but I mean, their defense wasn't fantastic the last few years. They just ain't getting any pass rush, and much like you, I think it's going to continue to progress like that. The next 5 years, the Chiefs are going to have a very bad defense. Answering our man's question, or our friend's question from earlier, are the Chiefs still Super Bowl favorites? They are still third on the list of
Third
Super
on the
Bowl
list.
odds at plus 750 behind the Bills and the Bucks.
Not my personal favorite at all. That's per the books, per FanDuel Sportsbook. Shout out once again. Yeah, they're not on top of my list as favorites, anything like that, as I can say right now.
If this,
Like I said, fuck, if they, especially if they lose the AFC West, it is going to be tough
Right.
sledding for them getting in the even in the playoffs.
right, 100%. I mean, if this has any draw as far as what the books want you to think, as opposed to the Super Bowl odds, I mean, the Chargers are still, I'm not even seeing, they're plus 1,700. They're 6th, 7th, 10th on this list.
Okay.
Division odds, they are both at plus 125.
Okay, so a little something to think about.
Both
right
of them
there.
at plus 125, man.
There's a lot of analysts too that are calling saying, "Hey, I would have drafted Justin Herbert before half of the guys that got drafted before him."
Oh, yeah.
And I
I
don't
would have
think
drafted
that
him one.
I don't think they're out of their minds or off stepping. I think you're
I think
finally
he's
seeing it,
fantastic.
and I think he might have even had a bigger year last year if it wouldn't have been for Anthony Lynn, my friend.
Yeah.
I think it would have been
100%.
a huge year, and I think he has the damn near possibility. If he starts putting up some fucking numbers, boys and girls, we might see just quite possibly him repeat as an offensive player of the year instead of offensive rookie, just
Yeah.
straight up offensive player of the year.
Yeah, kind of like I said
was
a minute ago. I don't know if they would be better than the Bills, but I still think they've got a peak to their season that we haven't quite seen yet.
Yeah, I'm out on Kansas City too, boys and girls. I can't stress to you enough. I said this at the beginning. I mean, this is kind of the same thing too. Chiefs going Chief. Like, they're gonna win a lot of these games, not games like this against elite talent. I think those teams have built themselves to be able to beat the Chiefs, but they're going to win some of these games. They're just not going to cover. It's just not going to happen. And they damn well might not cover this upcoming week against the football team. We'll see. We'll talk about it on tomorrow's show. But that does it all. Holy cow. Holy smokes. All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 games from week 5 of the NFL regular season have been recapped by yours truly, the TTL crew, Riley RMags Madison, and Colton, Cap and Colt 45, Soroka. Can't thank you enough for stopping by, listening to us talk. If you're a fan of the TTL Pod, member of TTL Faithful, you know what's coming. We got a little extra to talk about, a little something additional here after we do the main bulk portion. A little talking the line after hours, if you will. So that all being said, first thing up on tap, my friend to my left. What's up, Rome, too? Appreciate you stopping by. Partner.
Maureen on the bells. Okay.
Anything burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul, you have been dying to get out to the kind folks that joined us on episode number 144 of the TTL Pod on this BEA beautiful October 12th, 2021.
Okay, couple questions here for both of us, actually. First of all, who is your, through 5 weeks of the NFL season, who is your NFL MVP? And then following that, obviously whoever's week through 5 MVPs, not necessarily the full, usually not the full season MVP. So who is your through week 5 who has been the MVP? And then finally, who would be your pick? And I'll give you some odds after you answer the first part of that question.
So
yeah.
So who is? I'm good. So who is my MVP and who would be my pick?
Who has been the MVP through 5? That doesn't necessarily mean you would place a bet on them to win the full season MVP. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, so you want who I think, but then also who I would bet. So kind of the same thing, but not really the same.
Not
thing.
at all
Okay.
the same thing.
Okay, so but wouldn't who I think would be the
through 5 weeks last week, Russell
but then
Wilson was
also
the clear MVP,
right,
but that doesn't mean you're betting
long-term,
on him
but
for the
long-term.
entire season.
Okay, but wouldn't that still kind of seem like either way?
No.
But yeah, but I wouldn't have faith in who I would bet now too. Either way, Kyler Murray is my MVP for the first 5 weeks. I have no question in my mind. He's looked like a leader. He's done it with his feet as per usual, but he's brought a whole nother level of with his arm. He looks so damn good. Would I hammer him in? Pretty damn close, honestly, because I think he continues to do exactly what he's doing. Be really close either between him and Herbert, honestly, right now. I just think those two guys are going to start racking in stats. And at the end of the day, that's what these NFL honors awards are based off of. Numbers. That's all that matters. And I think that's what we're going to start seeing here. And either one of those two guys, honestly, is who I would put as who I'd put an early sprinkle on here for MVP of 2021.
Okay.
Who we got?
For myself, as far as through week 5, I would say Murray, but I also kind of what I said a few minutes ago, as far as the Chargers not quite hitting their peak yet, I might actually take. I'm not saying through week 5 he has been the MVP, but I would probably take Justin Herbert.
We're on the same fucking page.
Well,
Okay.
for me, if they are the 1 or 2 seed in the AFC and they beat the Chiefs out for the division,
Yeah.
I think it's
Give it
Justin
to him.
Herbert.
Give it to
And
him.
even especially if they beat the Chiefs twice and the Chiefs still kind of come back and give them a run for their money, if they got 13 plus wins, I'm giving it to Justin Herbert. Unless Josh Allen finishes 15 plus wins or something like that.
We got one Derrick Henry or Tom Brady. My opinion on that, Derrick Henry, I think, much like you, we're on the side of some point in time that he has to get injured or something has to regress,
Banged
right?
up or just tired
Right?
out, yeah.
Right? I think so. Or he could just be made of an entirely different material that's not human being, much
Yeah.
like Myles Garrett, as I've already said. Tom, I just think there's too many other teams that are going to be like more prolific as far as wins and where they're at than the Bucks, much like the Chargers. And if like the Chargers make the fucking playoffs and they oust the Chiefs, just like you said 2 seconds ago, at 150%, give it to him. But also Kyler vote as well. I think it's either between those. If Kyler keeps it up and the Cardinals get to the fucking playoffs, it's pretty much the same.
Oh, yeah.
Cut from the same cloth in that aspect then.
And I think as far as Tom Brady, I wouldn't bet on Tom Brady just because, and I think Aaron Rodgers could be in that conversation. I wouldn't bet on him because I think there's going to be 4 or 5 guys that are going to be very similar stats, very similar team standings. And what do we see across not only the NFL, but across all these other different leagues? When you have 3, 4, 5 different guys that are right there, they typically give it to the guys who haven't quite done it yet.
Agreed.
For the most part.
Agreed.
Unless someone stands out that much.
Those old voters, whoever votes and gets the numbers and all that jazz. Yeah, most definitely. I would agree with that for sure. So,
because I mean, in Rodgers and
shakes
Brady's
out.
case, if they're sitting 1 and 2 in the NFC, it's not going to be like an unbelievable feat or anything like that, you know?
Right. Well, hey, hell of a rabbit hole.
For sure.
Appreciate you for your sidebar as always, partner. Hey. Lace up the skates. Ice hockey
baby.
is back, boys and girls. It's time to get on with it. It's time to get back on the NHL ice. We got 2 games on tap today. The Pittsburgh Penguins versus the reigning, defending, 2-time champion Tampa Bay Lightning. played in Tampa Bay. I'm going to stay far the fuck away from that game. If
Yeah.
I'm leaning anywhere, I'm leaning to the under, but then again, opening game could be fucking bananas.
Right.
Other game up on tap. Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Seattle Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken. Not played in the Crack House as of yet, but that's
that-
that's what the old Seattle fans are calling it, the Crack
I
House.
would love to be on that ship.
They're calling it the fucking Crack
Crack
House, and
House.
I would be too. And I think, I'm wearing Kraken colors today, pal. I might have to buy. I didn't even plan this, and I got a bet. I'm going to fucking say it now. I have a bet in this matchup, and I did not even plan it because I am taking the underdog in this game. I'm not giving you a bunch of analysis. I'm not giving you a whole lot. A couple key reasons. Really, honestly, just one key reason. I love the Kraken tonight because I think the books know less about the motherfucking Kraken than I know about the Kraken. And I think they're going to make this a dirty, scrappy, defensive, enjoyable hockey game to watch. And I think they eke it out 4-3, 3-2, just something goofy, something weird. And I think that they are being priced like this because they're an expansion team. And you can look across their offense, you're like, shit, how are they going to even get any fucking goals on net? I don't think that matters, boy. I think this is going to be very intriguing. And one thing that really caught my eye is, I always say it on the show, severe monetary liability.
Right.
Anytime a team is getting 99% of actual money wagered on a money line, and it is that steep, and I just think that the Kraken are priced a little bit too good for where we should see the production. I think they should be much similar to how the Penguins are priced to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Lightning right around minus 190, and the Penguins right around plus 160, 170. Am I still right on that?
Looking like it's actually going the opposite way. Penguins are getting up over 200, plus 200.
Oh, so it is going the opposite way.
Yeah.
And so far, the Kraken pretty much stayed about the
Stay
same.
right there, yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But you want to ride with me? You want to sweat with me? My partner's already locked it in. I convinced him. I
Release the Kraken,
I
baby.
don't think that the fucking books know enough to make them a 220-point dog. Give me the Kraken. Release the Kraken. Ride it with the TTL crew. Hey, I got another play for you, sons of bitches.
Do you
too,
really?
If you didn't know. My motherfucking ass has got to play some Tuesday night college football.
Yes, sir. We do.
We got actually a hell of a game on tap
yeah,
here,
man.
dude.
I'm kind of salty at myself.
You had no idea?
I had no idea this was. I guess Tuesday is kind of my, especially the way the schedule has been shaken out. I don't have to really get into it until Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then you guys said we got some college football tonight.
And he was like, wait, we do? I said, yeah, it's a barn burner. We got the Raging Cajuns against the Mountaineers, son. Appalachian State.
The Fun Belt, baby.
ULL. Fun Belt football on a Tuesday night. Are you fucking kidding me? What have we done to deserve this, almighty? I thank thee.
Stealing the action from the action, dude. Can't blame him. The Fun
Hey,
Belt.
I'm tuning in, and I got a bet.
Yeah.
Suggest you get it in quick because I do think this raises up to closer to a touchdown. I am taking the Appalachian State Mountaineers -5, -5.5. I am comfortable with -5.5. I think this finishes closer to a touchdown or even 8. The main reason because of that, and I think this line is so low, is because Cam Peoples was out last week, running back for Appalachian State. He is going to be back this week. And why I like that so much is because the Raging Cajuns suck against the run. They can't plug a hole in a sinking boat. I promise you that. Cam Peoples will have a night against them. They do have a decent pass regime, but they haven't faced crazy passing offenses
Right.
on the defensive side of the ball so far this year outside of Texas. And even then, they didn't find much success in that department.
Right.
So I think that Bijan Robinson ended up actually gashing them too. So I think it's very, very similar to actually that game. Appalachian State is sneakily under a lot of people's radar, and I've been backing them, making a good amount of money on them this year. And I loved the Raging Cajuns last year. They've just come out a little lackluster, not the same amount of pop that they had last year, if you will. And I just think they're being overvalued. I would put this a lot closer to a touchdown or 8. No, this isn't typically a pick show, but hey, my friends, 2 coming at you, baby. Release the Kraken, and let's get weird with the Mountaineers, baby.
I ride with you on the Mountaineers, my man. I have not locked it in quite yet, but it does. Let me double check. I do believe it is dropping to 4.5 here. If I'm not mistaken, it is down to 4.5 now.
Ooh.
Obviously Appalachian State still the favorites. Over under 57.5. maybe a little.
What do you have it drop? Yeah, it has dropped down on DraftKings. Is that
I was seeing it on FanDuel.
okay?
4.5.
So it honestly might just have a little bit of reverse line movement to it here this afternoon. I'm not really honestly too worried about that. We saw it plenty last week, and this has been just a fine week for the public to handle business.
Yeah.
I don't think this is anything you have to worry about. They're getting 69% of the bets and 84% of the money, and I really don't think that's an issue you got to worry about at all. They want you to look at this as, oh my gosh, the Raging Cage is getting 16% of money. That's nothing you have to worry about. That's just some legalized gamblers down there in Louisiana trying to make some money on their homeboys, and they're just not all that this year.
No,
So
I don't think
I'll
so.
take them 4.5, 5. I'm not worried about it. I did think it was going to go up to 5.5, but hey, I'm not fucking worried about that either. So give me the 4.5. I'll lock it in all day long. It opened up at 2.5, my friends. Remember that public buyback. They're trying to get it back to the original opening line. Just remember, this line opened much differently. So once again, I love the Appalachian
Mountaineers,
State
baby.
Mountaineers minus 4.5, minus 5, wherever you got them at, my friends. All that being said, no action from me MLB wise tonight. I'm gonna stay away from your socks. I'm gonna let you guys
Well,
play
afternoon
that
action,
out.
baby.
I'm not going to really. I don't know. Maybe I'll mess around with Dodgers Giants. You got DeSclafani going against Gonsolin this afternoon or this evening. That matchup was absolutely bananas. Yeah, Kyler does have a tough and a half schedule too.
Yeah.
Buccaneers. Yeah, that is also very interesting. That game in Los Angeles was absolutely bananas.
Last night.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
me sideways. I had the Yurfie. Didn't end up putting it out because I thought it was going to be kind of a sweat. And with everything that happened, shit, Mad Max about fell off the doggone mound. It was so windy. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It's
I
kind
don't
of
know either.
insane. We'll see what happens as far as that game. I mean, I could see them forcing Game 5, but I don't know, boy.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. As far as Brewers on there, if they lose, they're done for. If they win, they force the Game 5. They got Eric Lauer starting to save their season against Charlie Morton.
Oh, shit.
I don't know,
And
man.
that's in Atlanta?
It is in Atlanta.
Oh, no, that's not great. Well,
Offense has been a little lackluster, actually extremely lackluster. 0 the last 2 days. So
oh, boy.
or 2
All right.
games.
So there's that. We got MLB tonight. We got some college football. We got some NHL. Make sure you check our best bets. Follow us on the Action app. I am at cash_with_Colt. Riley is at RMags in all caps. You can follow the Talking the Line best bets at Talking the Line. You can also go to talkingtheline.com and find our best bets on the Today's Best Bets tab. Who the hell would have known that?
Who knows?
1 week away officially from NBA season starting, my friends. Get ready to rock and roll. 1 day away from our actually home team, Chicago Blackhawks,
Heyo.
going back to the NHL starting. You will see me rip out the classic Death Black Stadium series on opening night, as I do every single year.
I'll be depends on what happens with my Sox. If they're going Game 5 tomorrow, then I gotta go that obviously.
I feel you there. So NBA will definitely be diving deep into that. Do not worry. No reason to bet preseason NBA. You don't need to do that. So if anybody's trying to give you preseason NBA plays, you might as well just walk out to your local pond and just start throwing sticks of dynamite out there and hoping you catch a fish at some point in time as he floats up to the top.
Bulls
Our-
preseason wagon though, baby.
They were preseason wagon last year, so I'm a little worried, but we'll see when it gets to the regular season. Last but certainly not least, 28 measly days away from the start of our favorite time of the year. It doesn't matter if it's Big Sky. It doesn't matter if it's AAC, the SEC, the fucking MAC, Pac-12, all the fucking above. Give me college basketball into my veins. I need it, every bit of it. November 9th, 2021. My goodness, I looked ahead, about creamed my jeans because there's fucking 30 games on tap in one fucking day. I digress, but I will tell you we will be cashing those college basketball
Yes, sir, we
tickets, and I cannot wait to bring that to you guys because boy oh boy, that's where we started capping. We haven't had we weren't even considering ourselves. We hadn't taken this leap of faith and this jump and this journey back when we were capping college basketball for the first time. So I cannot wait to get back into it. I am so excited to make more content on it. I absolutely love college basketball.
Yeah, so do I.
that's kind of my niche. So I can't wait to just can't wait to be able to have all types of new different shit too. So
Yeah, no doubt.
speaking of additional content, make sure you stay tuned to our blogs. You ain't signed up for the blogs yet, you can go to talkingtheline.com on our blogs page, and anywhere you see it on the homepage or in the blogs, just enter your email. Don't know why I gotta say this, but I always do. We will not send you fucking spam. We will only send you our blogs straight to your email inbox. You can enjoy them. Might have a little Colts Inspiration Daily Corner coming up, maybe 3 days a week. Maybe a little CBB conference series. You got the UFC blog. You got your NBA futures coming up. You got your extra cheddar every week. Plenty of stuff that you guys need to be privy to. All that being said, we'll have some new stuff. One more plug on Wise Words, episode number 6. Make sure you stop by that bad boy, coming out tomorrow after the show, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Electric guest from Philly, NBA and college football writer, content creator for Yahoo Sportsbook and for the Philadelphia Insider.
Yes,
so
sir.
this man, absolutely electric, had the northeastern accent. First time that we have really got to talk with somebody from Philly.
It's
And
thick.
it was a blast. Blast and a fucking half. So we'll definitely have him back on again as well, and suggest you follow him on Twitter once you find out who it is tomorrow. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button, leave us a comment, leave us a rating, all that good shit. Can't tell you how much we appreciate it when you do, however, because it only helps us make this bad boy right here and TTL Sports Media in general bigger, better for each and every one of you. All right, I remind y'all enough shit here. Let's shake it out. Let's get ready to go on about our Wednesdays here, but not before a little extra inspiration, motivation for each and every one of you with my Motivation Minutes. Let me get a quick sip of some high-quality H2O here, partner.
Of course. That's always the good stuff. Gotta get the sound effects, no doubt.
You got that right. Okay, so want to do a little something different today, and do a little visualization exercise here. What do you think? So if you're watching, you're listening, and hopefully you're not operating a motor vehicle or anything crazy, don't close your eyes if you are doing that, but a little bit more of an effect if you want to close your eyes, for sure, but you don't have to. Listen to the sound of my voice, whatever. I'm going to tell you a little story. It is involving you. I want you to visualize yourself in this story, and I'll walk you all the way through it. And it's about letting go of that worry and anxiety and fear in your life. So this is not me. This is not original content. It was in a totally different way. I heard it years ago and popped into my head for some reason. Don't know who needs to hear it, but thought I'd share it for you to close out the show today. So
Let's rock.
I want you to envision yourself on top of a hill. Top of a hill, then you look down and you're on a beach. All right, and we're setting the scene here, and you are looking down at the hill, and it's kind of a combination of grass and sand. The weeds have kind of overgrown, and the sand is warm on your toes. It's a beautiful day. Skies are blue, not hardly a cloud in the sky. You hear some seagulls chirping in the background, and you feel a slight tug on your hand as you're starting to take notice of everything going on around you. And you look to your hand and you realize that you have a string tied around your hand, and you know, what in the world is going on here? So you start to follow it and you realize there's a big old red balloon tied to your hand. And you feel the tug and the gentle pull as it sways in the ocean breeze, and you start to realize that there's things written on the side of this big old red balloon. And actually there's things bouncing around inside of it too, and you start to take account of what in the world is all of that shit on there and going on in there. And the closer you look, you see that it's all your worries. It's all your anxieties. It's all your fears. It's that promotion that you thought you were going to get, but Sally got, or it's that opportunity that you thought you were going to was going to come your way, but John got, or it was the fact that you think you will never measure up in XYZ part of your life. Whatever you're worrying about right now, or whatever is happening in your life right now, all of them are right there, and they're present, and they're never more than just a short balloon string away, right from your mind. They're always tied to you. They're always there pulling at you constantly. Well, I want you to do this for me now. As you stand on that hill, and as you feel the sand in your feet, you feel the tug of that balloon, you've taken account of what's in that balloon bouncing around. look down that hill. You see a nice path with some rocks to either side, kind of clearing it out through all the weeds and the sand on the side of this hill, and it actually leads down to that beach where the tide is slowly crashing in. And you think to yourself, man, if only I didn't have this doggone balloon pulling me back towards the top of this hill, wanting me to float away, if only I could just get down there. And as you start to think that, you realize that there's also a cabana down there. And man, oh man, that looks like one of the nicest cabanas I've ever seen in my whole doggone life. And what is that absolutely gorgeous bed that is sitting in there with a bottle of the finest champagne and fruits and cheeses and crackers of the nicest variety? What is that down there? Man, they also got a sign on that cabana that says, "No red balloons allowed." Damn. How am I gonna do that? Well, today I give you permission to stand at the top of that hill and slowly unravel that string. Let that string loose off of your hand and look at those worries, look at those fears, look at those cares one more time and let that motherfucker go. Let that red piece of shit float away into the existence. Watch it slowly go into the blue. It fades away into the cloudless sky, and now you don't see it, and bam, your attention comes back to the beach, to the shore, to that cabana, and you start to make your way down that path that I mentioned. And you make it to the cabana, and you see that pillow on that bed is actually the cloud that you thought you might see in the sky. It is the softest thing in the planet. You do a full swan dive and sink into that bad boy. The bottle of champagne magically pops itself and pours a glass, and you just start to sip, relax, and feel the ocean breeze. You don't even remember that red balloon that drifted off into the distance. All that matters is right here and right now, on that bed, in that cabana, feeling the ocean breeze, hearing the slap of the waves on the beach itself. And I want you to remember this anytime, that feeling you have right now. Nothing matters but that bed, how it feels, where you're at, the feeling of the breeze going against your face. Remember this right here, right now. Because when that red balloon wants to come back, you now have this place to come back to. Now that does it for the story. Not for the full motivation minutes, but I want you guys to remember, anytime those worries, those fears, those anxieties come back to you, just envision this story, this picture. You're standing on top of that hill. You can make that balloon any fucking color you want. I don't give a damn. Put any anxieties, worries, fears, stresses that you have in that balloon, and let that sumbitch go. And remember that you ain't and you can't enter that cabana and feel that feeling again if you have that balloon tied to your hand. So I give you permission to let that go today. You ain't gonna solve the world's problems in one day, in this next hour, this next minute, this next moment. Go find your fucking cabana. Go find your opportunity to settle down, to slow down, and a chance to escape. Because I know how much it can weigh down. I know how hard this life can get sometime. And I hope that gives you a little something you can come back to from time to time. So from me to you, I appreciate you. I love you all. That does it for my motivation minutes of the day.
Solid stuff, as always, my man. I want to be in that cabana real damn bad right now. I promise you that.
I appreciate it. You got something to always come back to now. There you go, my friends. There you have it. Officially, my motivation minutes.
Not even in the metaphor was fantastic. Not even metaphorically, I want to be in that cabana.
Absolutely. Me
amazing.
too. It does sound spectacular right now. Maybe one of these here days, you'll see the TTL crew, one of them their cabanas. But
a little 65-degree Lake Michigan cabana,
a little thumb action. Who knows? Who's to say? All that being said, my friends, that is about the show. Let's send you on your way. The only way we know how. Ladies and gentlemen, degenerates, gamblers, fans of the NFL Shield, fantasy football players, MLB fans, NHL hockey fans, fans of gambling, just general in between. Anybody I might have left out, far and wide. For myself and Mags, thank you again so much for choosing to stop by the TTL Pod today. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of our hearts. We will only keep doing this every single day, connecting with you, each and every one of you, whatever the hell that means. We'll just keep connecting with you. We love it. We love the network. Please keep reaching out, jumping in the live chat. We see each and every one of you. We appreciate the hell out of you. Last but certainly not least, we hope you have a spectacular rest of your Tuesday, unless you have any other plans. And as always, let's cash. Bear down.
Go
some
Sox,
tickets.
baby. That's a I needed Sox ticket to cash to save my life today type of let's cash some tickets.
Let's cash some tickets, my friend. There you have it. Have a spectacular day.